Welcome to Rock Solid Productions, where in this video we are going to unbox and test out the BrawlerGen gamepad, but this time this one is designed for the Sega Genesis, the Saturn, and the Mega Drive. Stay tuned! Hey everyone, welcome to Rock Solid Productions. Now, if this is your first time to the channel, just want to take a quick second, say thanks for stopping by and checking out what we have going on here on the channel. If you like what you see here, do me a favor, check out some of the other videos that we have here on the channel. And if you really like what you see, not just from me, but from other independent creators here on YouTube. YouTube's doing some really crappy things lately where they are de-emphasizing independent creators and pushing things like Disney and CNN and ABC and other big channels, kind of against what the whole platform was set up for. But do us all a favor, if there is a content creator out there that you know, that you like, hit that thumbs up button, leave a comment, subscribe, and hit that bell notification. That way it helps your favorite independent creator grow on YouTube. So we have in the past reviewed this guy here. This is the BrawlerGen USB gamepad, and this is from Retro Fighters, and it is designed to go ahead and give you a different sort of approach when playing either via USB on PC, Mac, if you're using a USB OTG cable, or if you are playing on, say, like the Sega Genesis Mini. Well, before this one was actually announced, they had announced this one. This is actually the Genesis Saturn Mega Drive version, and it takes all the exact same aesthetics and everything, but gives you connectors to go into the Genesis, the Mega Drive, possibly the Master System. Well, I mean, definitely the Master System. It's the same port, it's that 9-pin DIN, but also the Sega Saturn, which is what we have playing here with my most grooviest of groovy friends, Earthworm Jim 2. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this, throw it on the bench, check it out, compare it side by side with the USB version. We're going to test some games. Let's get to it. Alright, here with the BrawlerGen on the bench, as you can see on the box here, for use with Genesis, Saturn, Mega Drive. I would not be surprised if this is going to be compatible also with the Master System. Also with Genesis, Mega Drive, 32X, Sega CD, it's kind of implied in there. You know, very minimalistic on the box as normal with Retro Fighters, but on the back is where all the meat and potatoes are. The BrawlerGen showcases a modern and ergonomic design that is compatible with the Sega Genesis, Mega Drive, and Saturn systems. Again, would not be surprised for additional systems too. Providing a new and comfortable way to play your Sega Genesis, Mega Drive, and Saturn games, the next-gen style controller has a completely updated look over the original controllers. With its responsive D-pad and analog stick, the BrawlerGen is the ultimate way to relive your favorite classic games. This is the first controller to feature a 2-in-1 connector that is compatible with both Sega Genesis and Mega Drive and the Saturn II. Compatible with the original Sega Genesis, Mega Drive, and Saturn, as well as most third-party systems. So interesting that they actually acknowledge clone systems on there. High quality and responsive D-pad, comfortable and responsive analog stick, compatible with Sega Saturn and Genesis Mega Drive games. Reposition mode button, compatible with 6 and 3-button games. And how about that, an extra long 10-foot cord. So let's open this up. Oh, awesome. There's some goodies in there too that we'll check out for you. Set the controller there for now because I want to show you this first. This little guy here, little pixel art keychain. Absolutely love it. On the back it has the Retro Fighters logo. Just a nice little add-in. Thank you, Retro Fighters, for including something like this. And then we have the manual itself. Let's see if there's anything we really need to worry about. To play, simply connect the corresponding plug-in to the system you'd like to play, Genesis, Mega Drive, or Saturn. Please read the specific compatibility details and set up by platform. Set up by platform, okay. So some games require the mode function in order to work properly with a 6-button controller. The mode button allows you to switch between 6 and 3-button mode. In order to activate the mode function, you must hold down the mode button while turning on your system. BrawlerGen is compatible with all first-party systems and most third-parties. So again, I like the fact they're acknowledging clone systems. For the Saturn, the BrawlerGen allows you to play both with the analog stick and D-pad on all games. The BrawlerGen doesn't use a switch to change from analog to D-pad input. It will automatically allow you to use either while playing. That's awesome, very cool. And again, just a explanation of the layout: ABC, XYZ, analog stick, and D-pad. There's indicating where the start, mode, L and R buttons are at. BrawlerGen is compatible with the following systems: the Genesis, Mega Drive, 32X, Sega CD, Master System. There it is. One thing, Retro Fighters, just my personal advice, put the Master System on the front of this thing. Sega Saturn, most third-party systems. Please note that a few select Saturn and 32X games are not compatible. And that kind of wraps up the manual. Looking at the controller itself, I gotta say this looks awfully familiar. I've seen it someplace. Oh, hello, BrawlerGen USB controller. Hi, BrawlerGen Saturn and Genesis controller. How are you? I'm doing fine. Okay, that's lame, I admit it, but here you can see it is essentially the same controller, same button layout and everything. This version just uses USB. This uses the 9-pin connector for the Genesis Mega Drive, Master System, 32X, Sega CD, and the Saturn. So, I mean, everything looks virtually identical from this one to this one, and that's a good thing because I really dig this controller. As expected, the analog stick feels really good. D-pad feels great. ABC, XYZ. Again, just never been a huge fan of having the XYZ smaller than the ABC, but that's just how it was. I do really like these triggers. Unlike other Saturn controllers where it's like a micro switch where it has no travel, these feel more similar to Super Nintendo triggers to me. I like that a lot. And then your mode and start buttons on the front. Here you can see the 10-foot long cable, yes! And then here's the business end of the connectors. They are molded, not metal, so that's something to be aware of. And yeah, this is the same as your typical Genesis controller. That's the same as your typical Saturn controller. Let's hook it up, let's test it out. So we've got everything connected from the BrawlerGen, first of all, to our Master System. Analog stick works great. So there's B, there's C. Analog stick works great, that's awesome! This is probably my favorite home version of Double Dragon, at least on the 8-bit side of things. It is hard as nails though. So none of the other buttons do anything, it just works with B and C. Now I am playing through my OSSC using HD Retrovision cables. You can get the cables and the controller actually from Ryan over at CastlemaniaGames.com too. I'll have some information on how you can do that later on. This plays really well. Now let's use the D-pad a little bit too. Yeah, responsiveness feels really, really spot on. Okay, so it works with the Master System, which I'm glad to see that they actually talked about in the manual. I kind of wish Retro Fighters put that in the box. That's a good thing to talk about. So now we are going to go one generation newer to the Sega Genesis. Next up, we're hitting the Sega Genesis and just plugged everything in. Do one player on Battletoads. Now, for those who have never played this, this is basically the NES game, but on the Genesis. Wow, this looks great. All the button presses and everything are doing what they should. There is B, hitting the double towards to run towards an enemy, works just fine. C is jump, and it doesn't seem to make much of a difference really if I'm using the D-pad or the analog stick. They both feel really good. And then B is also if you're trying to get the flies and whatnot, which I did not successfully get. This is a game I've actually had in my collection for a while. I don't think I've ever actually played it before now. Battletoads, feeling pretty good here. Let's fire up some Sega CD. So at the 2019 Portland Retro Gaming Expo, I actually picked up a copy of Final Fight CD for the Sega CD. I also got a copy of, well, not a copy, but Final Fight, the arcade game from 1UP Arcade for my wife for Christmas. So very cool. We are going to go to Time Attack. The one thing that blew me away on this game was just how grainy everything looked. I figured it would look like the 1UP Arcade, and it doesn't. There's D-pad, analog stick. Oh yeah. Now I have gone through recently, and I actually played through the entirety of this game on my 1UP Arcade. I forgot how good it is. I'd actually never beaten the game before. And I'm using primarily the analog stick on this. It just feels so natural to do. The button presses feel spot on, no real delay or lag or anything like that. I really, really do like the analog stick. Now, if you're going to play a fighter to test something out with, I mean, there's the granddaddy of them all, and it's Street Fighter. And we're going to fire that up now on the Saturn. All right, and who do we always pick? Ryu. Now, we'll be testing out both the D-pad and the analog stick, but mostly using the analog stick on this. This looks like the one character from Street Fighter, or not Street Fighter, Final Fight. I'm able to do the... Oh, that's awesome. Everything is working great so far, except for the fact I mismapped the X button. Got him with the Hadouken! For the finish? Yeah! Now that was all with the analog stick. Let's try the D-pad this time. Having an easier time doing the dragon uppercut with the analog stick, but there I got a bunch of them back to back there. Got him! This is actually really, really good. Now, there's only one last game I have to try. You know what groovy game that is. Groovy! Anything but tangerines! Such a great series. I'm so glad that this is coming back later this year on the Intellivision Amiga. I can't wait to try it out. So, jump is B. Shoot is A. C is whip. Okay, I think I'm already preferring the analog stick to the D-pad just so that I can shoot a little bit more accurately on here. Awesome, got the pig in there right where he should be. Yeah, the analog stick definitely makes this better for shooting. Ah, damn it, Granny. Got it. That normally takes me so many tries to get through there. Just getting the timing set up right. Granny chair. Ugh. Yes! Yahtzee! Missed the extra life though. Oh well. Let's wrap things up. Once again, Retro Fighters has outdone themselves, creating a great controller that feels amazing in the hand. The ergonomics on this, it doesn't look right. It just doesn't. But it feels so comfortable in the hands. They have done a great job at making a controller that not only is comfortable to hold, but is really responsive. Playing Street Fighter Alpha on my Saturn had no issue playing and pulling up any of the moves. Zero lag or latency detected, and the fact that this not only works with the Genesis, my 32X, the Sega CD, and my Master System, along with the Saturn, this is really one controller that you can play with multiple systems and be really happy with. And what I most like about it is the fact that everything that was good about the USB version is right here. Kind of wish that I had a three-way connector with this so I could also use it with my Genesis Mini, but this, as it is out of the box, works great. But let me know what you think down in the comments section. Another thing I want to know down in the comments, let me know what is your favorite Saturn game of all time. I'm kind of curious. I'm looking to expand my collection. Obviously, Earthworm Jim is amazing on it. I've got Street Fighter here. Looking for great titles to add to my Saturn collection. Let me know. If you do have any other comments or questions, as always, feel free to leave them down below in the comments section. You can also go ahead and email me at rocksolidmail@gmail.com. Hit me up on Twitter at RockSolidStudios, Facebook at facebook.com/RockSolidProductions, or on Instagram at instagram.com/RockSolidProductionsGK. Now, if you do want to help support the channel and get early access to future content, you can do so by heading on over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/RockSolid. For as little as $1 a month, 12 bucks a year, you get early access to all of our stuff, exclusive content, and a whole lot more. Plus, you can also go ahead, head on over to our Teespring store where we've got Rock Solid Productions shirts, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, and other merchandise, so you can kind of help show your support, and everything that we do raise goes right back into the channel. Now, if you are looking at picking up one of the BrawlerGen 2-in-1s or one of the USB versions, do me a favor, head on over to CastlemaniaGames.com. Ryan over there, he's the best that there is. Nobody leaves the castle unhappy. And what's cool is he's got a feature over there called Castle Cash, where it's his loyalty program. The more you spend, the more you earn towards future purchases. And what's really cool there too is Castle Cash is just like cash. So some promo codes don't work on some items. Castle Cash works on everything. Speaking of promo codes, if you want to go ahead and use promo code ROCKSOLID10, you can save 10% off of most items on the website. And finally, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, if you like what you see here, if you want to see more, as always, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, and hit the bell notification. That way each and every time we upload new content, you're kept informed and up to date. Thank you so much to Retro Fighters for sending us one of these to test out. This is an amazing controller, something you definitely want to check out if you have a Saturn, if you have a Genesis, Mega Drive, or Master System. I'm hooked. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you soon.